Daddy, can you tell us a story when you saw the angel in your art class?
Of course. For 9 years, I taught art therapy classes in different facilities for the Department of Juvenile Services here in Maryland. Among the facilities was this one, the main detention and court center in downtown Baltimore. As expected, this building has tons of security. You go through a checkpoint manned by sheriffs and walk through an X-ray machine. The first floor is a detention and holding cells facility which house anywhere from 75 to 100 juveniles. On the second floor are different offices where you can find counselors, parole officers, and the female intervention team. The third floor has the judges' offices as well as their courtrooms. The juveniles come here for their parole and probation meetings, to participate in rehab programs like mine, and for their court hearings. One of the first projects I worked on was taking the paintings and drawings that I did with the kids and had them framed and placed on the hallway walls. You should have seen the kids' faces when they saw their artwork displayed. Then, probably a year and a half into my tenure, we got permission from the center to take an empty office and convert it into an art room. The first thing we had done was the flooring, and then we started painting murals on the walls with the kids. It was a very fun project, and the kids loved it, as well as the employees at the center, as it created an oasis of color and positivity in a place which for the most part is sterile and rather depressing.
Daddy, what happened with the angel?
Okay, it's coming. Okay, one day I came for my usual 5:30 p.m. class, and I go to the room. I come here to continue painting. When I got there were no kids, which, to be honest, I didn't think much of it, because they would come 1 week, and we'd get 2 kids, maybe 3, then the next week you got 1, so it wasn't really out of the ordinary. So I just stood on a table that I had here that I used kind of like a scaffold. Right here I was painting this area here, and I just got to painting. Then 10-15 minutes later, the lady who runs the program comes in to say hi, like she usually does, and she's like, how you doing? I'm fine. And then she goes, I'm so sorry that I didn't get you any kids today, but today the facility, all this area is closed, so none of the kids are going to come here. And I said, don't worry about it, I have stuff to do here, so I'll see them next week. And she's like, oh, cool. Then 10-15 minutes later, this kid walks in. He was 15-16 years old, skinny, just a normal kid. I'm like, hey, how are you? And he goes straight, picks up a paintbrush, some paint, and gets to painting. So he was, I would say his demeanor was quiet. He didn't really say much. I asked him what his name was. He told me, I don't remember. He was probably painting for a good 30 to maybe 45 minutes. I was busy doing on my side. Like I told you, he was painting on this area. I was painting up here. So I wasn't really looking at what he was doing. After those 30, 45 minutes went by, he puts, a paintbrush and the paint back and just leaves. And the lady from the program comes by again, and he's like, oh, how are you doing? I'm like, good, I'm just picking up. He's like, oh, great, sorry again that nobody came. So I'm like, yeah, but at least such and such came. I said the name. And she's like, what do you mean? And it's like, yeah, he was here and he painted, and it's cool that he showed up. And she goes like, what do you mean he showed up? There's nobody here. I'm like, well, yeah, such and such came, just one of the kids. He's like, you've seen him before? It's like, I've never seen him before, but he introduced himself and came over. I thought you had sent him. And she's like, no, I didn't send him because there's no kids here. Nobody came, the facility's closed, so they don't have access to here. And she, at this point, we're both kind of like freaking out. It's like, what are you talking about? So she's like, what did he paint? And I'm like, all right, let's go see what he painted, because I know where he was standing and I know that area was empty. So we walk over, and this is what he had painted. See, I was standing on that corner So I was looking towards this area. So, and he was down here, right? He was in this area. So I wasn't really taking a look at what he was doing. So, yeah. You have to understand that kids here, as you may see, right, they don't really draw, religious things or faith-based things. They love to draw, like iPhones and shoes and dollar signs and money and knives and hearts. We don't let them paint like violent things, guns and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's very not positive, faithful things for the most part. So, let alone of spiritual or religious nature, unless sometimes they like to put in memoriam of a family member or friend who passed away, that they painted. But I think in my 9 to 10 years working here, I had never ever had anybody paint anything that had to do with Bible or rosary or nothing to that effect. We never saw the kid again, and the lady who runs the program swears there hadn't been any kids with that name participating. Maybe it was something else, a message of some sort. I don't necessarily consider myself a believer in this type of encounter, but I do know that we are spiritual beings and that the energy that surrounds all of us, you may call it God, is capable of anything. As I look back at the encounter, I do remember a feeling of ease when he was there. Again, not thinking much of it, but feeling a sensation of peace. If it was indeed an angel, how nice it was that it chose art to convey its message.
That story was great, Daddy.
I know, right? Do you think that was an angel?
Yes! What do you guys think it was? Tell us in the comments below. And remember to punch that subscribe button and the little bell to get notifications when our next video is about to come out. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Bye!